Hi, everyone. This is Betsy Sobiak with Tiara International. We are a women's leadership company devoted to really unleashing leadership for every woman, whatever that looks like in business careers, professional careers, communities, everywhere around the world. And today we have the benefit and the privilege of talking to Celine Ikeler, the Karma Baker, who's located in LA. Celine, thank you so much for being on this hangout and telling us your story as the Karma Baker.
My pleasure. So glad to be here. It's going to be fun.
Just tell us a little bit about your story and how you got to where you are today.
Okay, so Karma Baker is a vegan, gluten-free bakery, and it started for me because my next door neighbor's daughter was deathly allergic to so many things. Poor Sophia couldn't eat anything that I made, and her mom would attempt certain things, and it would be, well, here's everyone else's amazing, beautiful dessert, and here's Sophia's thing, and to me, that's not what baking is about. It's about like handing a small treasure over, here's a beautiful cupcake, here's a brownie, and like you feel how it's going to feel when you eat it, and I just wanted that for her. So I started, like, I can figure this out, and I took a can of garbanzo beans and, made her a brownie. So I started baking for her, and then I eventually had some allergies and wheat and dairy and eggs. And I bake because I like it. I love to eat that stuff. And, but it's got to be good. It's got to be worth it. And so that's when I started really raising the bar to, perfection. At the time, I was a stay-at-home mom. I was married and had two kids. I had wanted to create a business, a creative business. I had an animation background, and I was always, doing things, visual art, and I dabbled in so many things, and really kept making a request of the universe, like, I just want a creative business I can do at home where I can be there for my kids, and I threw it out there, but my kids were such a priority that it never came to fruition. It didn't manifest.
I think one of the concepts we practice in Tiara is the balance of perfect timing with really being clear about your vision and what you want.
I went back to school and took a year-long course to become a life coach because that was something I just loved and really it spoke to me. The self-growth and the learning from that really resonated. And I started pursuing it, but the baking was kind of always going on the side. It didn't ever stop, and it was just kind of gaining momentum. And I found a cafe that I was selling to. I was baking out of my house and selling to one cafe, and then that turned into two cafes, and that turned into renting bakery space in a big kitchen because I outgrew mine. The bakery was just, it had a momentum. It just had its own energy, and I felt like that's where I should follow. That's what I should be doing.
Good for you for having the courage to follow it each step of the way. Sometimes we stop the flow of that kind of thing.
I actually think in observing you and what you're doing that you've actually very much married transformation and growth to what you're doing. And maybe you could share with the listener a little bit about your vision of what you call enlightened baking and how you're bringing transformation not only to the actual ingredients you're using, but to the people who work as part of Karma.
Thank you, Allison. Yes, it's one of those things where I didn't see it until I saw it, and it was so clear. That baking is about transforming, and you take your random ingredients and you transform it into a gift, a treasure, a small cupcake, a brownie. We have coined this term enlightened baking because we believe that everything that happens in that bakery while we are baking, the intention that goes out when you bake a cake is now in that cake. When you have goodwill and love and good feelings, even, it's in that cake now, and then you pass that forward, and that becomes, your karma that you're sending out, and other people gain that karma back. When you bake something or you create something, part of you is in it. And what makes people enjoy it is what they actually get from it, you know? So we tell the girls at the bakery, you know, this is a journey that you're on, and we don't think there's any mistakes. You know, we think that you're here for a reason. I feel really, really lucky. I feel so lucky that somehow I have come into contact with the feeling of trusting the universe. And so I do this thing where with all my knowing, I know that we are all connected. I believe that because of that, if somebody knows something already, they've already learned something, that if I really open myself, I will then know it. And I know that might sound crazy, but I run the business from that. And when things get unknown, I just like kind of give it up. Truly, I think that, you know, I am just a vessel. I'm a vessel for all of it, for all the light, all the love, everybody's knowledge, you know. And truly, when I just let it in, I get these amazing epiphanies. I got a thought to go get my nails done. And at my nail salon that I always go to, I pulled up in front and I went, wait, I feel like I should keep moving. And so I kept driving around the corner to an empty cookie store. And I thought, oh, that's weird. That place was here a few months ago. And there was a sign in the window, and I called the realtor, and he brought me in right away. And it wasn't just like a little kitchen in the back of a cookie store. It's a gigantic kitchen. And it had everything in it. Ovens, mixers, cookie sheets, tables, everything. Like, it couldn't have asked for a miracle that looked any more like a miracle. And that was it. That's the bakery. I just knew it was where I was supposed to be. And as soon as I signed it, I got 2 grocery stores to carry our products. Like, it was like I made the space and it got filled with everything I'd been asking for.
I ran into a local mom in our area, who said to me, oh, you mean that Celine is the Karma Baker? Oh, I'm so grateful to her, because for the first time ever, we can show up to a Girl Scout event and buy something that everyone is so excited to eat, that my kids can eat, and that tastes really, really good. You know, and that for her, it's been a way for her kids to feel like they're not different and they're included. Because Celine, when she makes something, what she was saying earlier, she makes something that people would have no idea that it doesn't have, you know, the animal products or the gluten in it. So, I mean, that's one of the things that she's been able to do, more than just make something. If you go to the grocery store, most of the stuff you can kind of tell. You know, yeah, it doesn't have gluten, but it also doesn't taste very good. So she's really, I think, contributing something very important to the community.
You know, for me, I have this mountain out there, and the mountain is completely national. You know, very early on, my first thing I said about this bakery was, you know, I want to go to Starbucks and pick out a muffin that's vegan and gluten-free, and I want Karma Baker to be the one that made it. Mm. You know, that's what I want. That's my mountain out there, and I would love to be, you know, sharing enlightenment with, you know, other women, be it baking, be it transforming, you know, be it inspiring, just, you know, anything that shows them a new way.
I want to just share something that I've observed, and maybe Celine, you can talk about it, because I think you do something that's very important for any woman who is wanting to be a leader. And I wonder if you could speak a little bit to the perseverance and the attitude you had as you went through the trials and tribulations of trying to figure out the magic formula for making bread that's vegan and gluten-free, that's also tastes amazing.
With the bread, I had many moments like that, where I would get close, you know, and I would say, you know, someone knows how to do this. Someone knows. And so I would ask, you know, like, all right, you know, collective consciousness, click in, you know, who knows, and let me know, let me absorb it, you know, and then I would, you know, get another idea and pursue it, and you know, one became ordering this flour, sort of a one ingredient, and I couldn't get it unless I ordered, 3,000 pounds of it. And I was just dead in the water there. And I thought, I did not come all this way to not be able to order 3,000 pounds of this flour. And I, used my manifesting skills, which Allison has been my guru in. And I said, you know what? It's impossible, but I just want that company to send me a sample of it, like a big sample. And I don't know why they even would, but that's what I want. And then it came the next day. The guy who was, trying to help me find this ingredient, he said, yeah, I talked to the company, and they won't send more than a pallet, but they'll send you a great big sample if you want for free. And I was like, okay. That sounds like exactly what I asked for. So, every time something like that happens, I'm just reinformed, reassured that, I'm on the right path, and this is my karma. Every time we would start the year, we would do our list of, what our values are and what our goals are for that year. And, I remember not feeling, it's sort of like would be a culmination of what I was wanting, and the list would be like, well, yeah, those are the things I want, And then the next year we'd look and be like, oh, that happened. Oh, look, that one happened too, And when I look back at the pages, it's amazing. I mean, I think that was one of my very first realizations that manifesting is all you, and it's as big as you can wish, just go crazy, because it's like as big as you can wish, it's as carefully as you can wish, there is no limit except the limit that you think you can't have it.